there's a sound that came out of Atlanta in the 90s, which a lot of people say was the best decade, that didn't just change music, it changed culture.
And in this video, you're going to hear what it was really like when that scene was just getting started. From someone who helped develop artists like OutKast, TLC, Arrested Development, Xscape, Jagged Edge, and the list goes on. And he's worked alongside the production team, Organized Noise, shaping the city's sound.
And from someone who shaped that sound, helped build those careers, and leave a lasting mark on Atlanta's music legacy, let's run the tape back. Welcome to the Flashback Squad. This is the podcast where we revisit the moments that shaped us, the music that moved us, and the memories that still make us laugh. My name is Sabrina Horton.
And I'm Laura Rosario. And if you love stories about the moments behind the culture, the music, the media, and the memories we all share, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and take this ride down memory lane with us.
Because around here, we don't do tell-alls.
We do flashbacks. Woohoo!
All right. So our guest today, he helped shape the sound of Atlanta's music scene in a really big way. Known as the Dreamweaver, he's a producer, he's a manager, and he's the host of Check the Credits live on Instagram. Check him out. And he's an industry visionary who has worked with legendary artists that you all know and love, and helped develop some of the biggest names in music.
Yes, he did. And from being part of the movement that elevated artists like OutKast, TLC, Arrested Development, Xscape, and Jagged Edge, to working alongside the powerhouse production team, Organized Noise.
To connections with artists tied to T.I. and Destiny's Child, to currently managing rising talent like Peach 3, and being nominated for an ACE Honors Award.
Yes, we can welcome. Let's welcome.
Here he comes.
Here he is. Woo, woo. The one and only Ian Burke.
Let's go, Ian.
Yes, Ian is someone who's seen the evolution of the industry from the inside out.
This is going to be one of those conversations where people are going to say, wow, I did not even know that. Mm-hmm. So welcome again, Ian. We're so glad to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are. Woo! So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, Ian, you moved to Atlanta in the early days of its music boom. Where did you move from, for one? And what was the energy like in the city when the scene was just starting to explode?
Okay. I moved from Mount Vernon, New York.
Okay, we should have guessed. I did not know that, but we can tell by that accent.
My parents were retiring and moving to Florida. And I wasn't ready for Florida yet. They said that Florida's the land of the newlywed and the nearly dead, and I wasn't neither one of those after graduating from high school. So I decided to come down here to Florida in October of 1984.
Come back to Atlanta, you mean? You came to Atlanta in 1984?
Came to Atlanta in 1984, October of 1984.
Okay, all right.
And the as far as the scene goes, they really, we had artists from Atlanta like Cameo and the SOS Band.
And Brick. Now, Brick, I know that's going back to the 70s,
yes.
but Brick, I love Brick.
Definitely. And like Princess and Starbreeze. But that was it. There wasn't the Mother's Finest, I got to mention them. But there really wasn't a scene. There was a live scene here where people were in bands and doing the chitlin circuits, the smaller clubs and things of that nature. But, that was it at that particular time.
Okay, I love hearing that because people see Atlanta now,
Yeah, right. Like how it is now in the 20s, it's changed a whole lot since the 90s.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because back then it was like building a plane while flying it because you had to do everything at the same time. So Ian, what did the local music scene feel like before the rest of the world discovered Atlanta?
It was quiet. It was quiet. We weren't known. Like I said, we had artists that came from Atlanta, but we really didn't have a scene here. There were a few local rappers looking to get into the scene in the early days, but that was it. There really wasn't any type of real scene here for a while when I first got down here.
Because
Mhm.
wasn't there like, so was the most of the scene was on the West Coast in Cali, or just
No,
none of the
actually,
scene? Was
no.
it?
I mean,
Okay.
in '84, hip hop was just getting a stronghold within the world. The biggest act at that point was Run DMC.
Mhm.
Run
And
DMC.
I mean, LL Cool J hadn't dropped a record yet, so
Mm.
hip hop was just starting to boil. So New York was coming in hot with the hip hop scene. That's the birth of hip hop, was in New York. And but you had your people who wanted to get into the medium here in Atlanta, but it hadn't exactly grown yet.
And, and
It hadn't gotten out there yet.
okay, and because you mentioned LL Cool J, I had to show this cool picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit what was going on here.
That was at I want to say, the Soul Train Music Awards in the late '90s. I was backstage at the award show. I was working for ASCAP, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers at the time.
Ooh.
And LL was back there, and I was like, "Hey, let's get this flick." And that's how we took this picture.
And then Sabrina, that's so cool, Ian. Sabrina, were you there at the time? Because you worked for BET, obviously. And so were
Mhm.
you at that actual, because
Oh, at this Soul Train Awards? Probably
Mhm.
not.
Okay.
No, I didn't really go to the Soul Train Awards. But so I moved to Atlanta from LA well, actually from Miami. So I know about what you're saying about Florida. It's a lot of, people go there to retire. And but I went to University of Miami, and then I moved here in '93. So yeah, I was here from '93 to '98, and it's like everybody was talking about, oh, I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I'm like, oh, yeah, Atlanta. We should move to Atlanta. I mean, it's just like it was a whole like a publicity campaign for Atlanta. Like that's what everybody was talking about. It was a big deal. But in the '90s, it was. But that's why we're having you on, so you can help explain that to us, break it down.
Right.
Like what do you think made Atlanta's sound and culture different from other cities at the time?
Well, it was new. You had people looking to get into the business, but didn't have a clear path to get into it. Because at that time, you had to either go to New York or LA, because that's where the record labels were.
Right.
And and then of course Nashville, if you wanted to get into country music, or Miami if you wanted to get into the Latin music. So it was.
But don't forget about Uncle Luke.
Oh yeah, Uncle Luke broke through, but that was in the late '80s. In the late '80s, he discovered strip club music.
Because
so that was
okay, I was on the West Coast. Who's Uncle Luke? I have no idea who Uncle Luke is.
Luther Campbell had a group
Two
called
Live
the
Crew?
Two Live Crew.
Oh, okay. I do know
Shake
Two
What
Live
Your
Crew.
Mama Give You, and
okay.
things like that. So they created what I deemed the strip club anthem. So that's the one thing that was popping here in Atlanta was the strip clubs. Of course, I had to wait till I turned 21 to make my first trip to Magic City. But
your
it
first
was something that changed my life.
Yes, I heard what you were going to say. Sabrina, you cut your tongue. You stopped your tongue. I know you're going to say the first of many. Was it the first of many?
Oh yeah, like when you're just getting up and you see, because Atlanta, you're fully nude. You're not topless. You're fully nude, and you're going in there and you're seeing these beautiful women, and you're like, wow, okay.
So they were always fully nude then. Even in the '90s, they were fully nude.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In the '80s, they were fully nude.
Wow. Like it was a big one, like Club Cheetah.
The Cheetah.
So
that was more on the white side of things. Yeah, okay.
That was on the white side of things.
I just heard about it. I just heard. Okay. So this is, we're going down memory lane. I just want to show you my roommate at the time. I'm gonna tell this story. Maybe she'll see it. Her name is Dee Foster, and she was a gymnast for University of Alabama. And she said, I don't know how we got there, but we drove by Magic City in the daytime. We walked in. She said, I want to fill out an application. And I was like, okay, let's get out of here. Come on. But she was one of those friends that, would dare you to do stuff.
Adventurous. She was adventurous.
Yeah.
You had to be to walk in that club and want to fill out an application.
And it's still today, right? Because I heard people
absolutely.
talking about. Okay.
Magic City is still the Heartbeat, they just did. Jermaine Dupri did a documentary about the club, a docu-series about the club. And you know, it's still a mainstay in Atlanta culture. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was very important to the music scene here because that's where a lot of new artists went to break their music or to broker new deals. You know what I'm saying? Where white folks went to the golf club, the golf, you know, went and play golf. We went to the strip clubs in order to meet up the wings.
Okay, all right, like
and
sort of
watch
like.
the women.
Wait, did you say the wings? Discuss deals over wings?
Over wings and women.
Wings and women.
That's
like
what it
Kendrick
was.
Lamar, women, weed, and music. What is it? What's his big the first song? Women, weed, and anyway.
Women.
But yeah.
So, Ian, this is a quick question. This might seem weird. Well, it's not weird, but okay. So if someone could step into a time machine and visit one moment in that era, what moment should they see? In your opinion, what moment should they step into so that encapsulates or something like of the music industry or something that would be great for someone to see?
Jack the Rapper convention in 1988. That was the year that LA and Babyface introduced Karen White and her new album, Superwoman. And that was, Guy was there. You know, a New Edition was there promoting Any Heartbreak, and Bobby Brown was there. So it was a huge moment for the music scene in 1988. As well, you know, as Jack the Rapper was very relevant in creating and helping to create the scene for the city, but it was LA and Babyface coming here and recognizing the fertile ground that was Atlanta and decided to plant their flag here.
Oh, I love that, Ian. Woo, good. That's a great answer.
Yeah. Wow. That's a trip, you know. So like Jack the Rapper, do we still have that? Is that still going?
No,
they ended that, huh? And then there was another one called the Gavin.
That was on the West Coast, I believe. I think that was a Bay Area college college conference.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the CMJ was the college conference for New York, and Gavin was the West Coast, I believe, that was held out in the Bay.
Oh, okay. All right. So you've helped develop several artists, a bunch of them, that have gone on to become global stars, like we've mentioned, OutKast, TLC, let's see, Arrested Development, Xscape, Jagged Edge. So when you first encounter an artist, what tells you that they might be special?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, it's the difference. If they're going against the grain, and that's was, you know, like Arrested Development, who were my roommates, they were going against the grain with the music that they were producing, especially during that time because Uncle Luke was very popular, and trying to get this conscious music into mainstream coming out of Atlanta. It wasn't an easy nut to crack, you know. And although I helped, it was Jermaine Dupri's father, Michael Malden, that actually pushed the group through to get their deal with EMI Chrysalis. And
you're talking about Arrested Development on this part when you said that with EC Light.
With Ishi, yes.
Yes, Ishi is going to be on our show next week.
Yeah, I helped discover. I was actually looking to put her sister in the group Arrested Development, and her sister recommended her at 13 years old, and she came in and, you know, blew speech and headliner away, and she became, you know, a band member for the group.
I love that, Ian. And I actually met Ishi through Ian. So Ian is he's just wonderful in many capacities.
I try to keep my relationship as strong as I can.
And you do.
And then from Arrested Development, then there was Dionne Farris. She went.
Dionne Farris joined. It was Arrested Development encapsulated. The main members were Speech and Headliner, then Ishi, and then Dionne Farris, Rasa Dawn, and Baba OJ, and Arlie Turi.
Shout out to all of them. So Ian, as the Dreamweaver, what does artist development really look like behind the scenes that, you know, most people never see?
You know, there's a lot that goes into that. There's, you know, vocal coaching, there's choreography, there's media training, um, there's staging, and creative development as it relates to that. There's creative direction as it relates to clothing, what you wear. So all of those elements go into artist development, and the master of that for us was Berry Gordy and the whole Motown sound.
I figured you was going to say Berry Gordy. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at any of the documentaries regarding Berry Gordy and the Motown family, you can see, he patterned artist development after working in the Ford shops and the assembly lines for the cars. And he was like, we're going to do the same thing for our artists. They're going to go through charm classes and learning how to walk and how to dance and, how to sing and studio etiquette. All of that stuff goes into artist development. So when, people see them for the first time, they know how to, because it's a lost art, let me tell you. It's a completely lost art, especially nowadays with social media. You really get to see how these artists really act. And, it's just like, wow, really? And it is what it is, but.
And it doesn't seem like it's any turning back, really, because.
Well, I refuse. Like anything that I work with has to be developed, has to go through that training process. And even though they may not feel like they need it, well, I could sing and, you wouldn't be working with me if it's like, no, yeah, there is talent there, but it's a coal. I want to add that pressure on so it becomes a diamond. And a lot of folks don't get that. Like with each three, the girls couldn't handle the pressure. Well, most of the girls couldn't handle the pressure. So you take Peach 3 for an example, great dancers, great vocals, but they couldn't fit into a structured lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's needed when it comes to discipline for certain things. So when you're saying, okay, no tattoos, no body piercings and things like that at this particular point in time, because we want to take them from one particular place and grow them into another, so that it just doesn't look like the same album being repeated over and over again. Like an OutKast, how they grew with their music, like a TLC, how they grew with their music, and like an Xscape, how they grew with their music. You have to have a starting point, and from the starting point, you have to have a place to go. You have to have a destination, and that's your career, and that's what we wanted to build. Unfortunately, we couldn't create a solid enough structure with these young ladies to push it through, and as a result, the group broke up.
Wait, what? Ian? Peach 3 broke up?
Yeah, Peach 3 broke up last year.
I didn't, because I was actually there at Icon when they were practicing and working out, and they put in so much work. That's surprising. Yeah. And you said it's based on what? The lack of discipline, or that you feel comfortable saying? I don't want you to
okay. Yeah, I would say like there are things that we required, and there was some rebelliousness amongst that. And it's like, okay, we're singing and dancing and showing up when we need to. It's more than that. If you're going to be an artist, you have to live the artist lifestyle. You have to present yourself that way at all times, especially when you're out in public. There was pushback there. And then there were people that really wasn't looking for this type of scenario. They didn't want to be an artist. They would rather live their lives as a background dancer. And that's as high as they wanted to shoot. And we wanted more for the situation. When I say we, my partner, Dion Kubis, and I wanted more. We felt that they deserved more than just being some backup situations. But if the girls don't feel that way, then you're fighting a losing battle.
Exactly. Do you think that in that sort of situation, though, because they are so young, when they get older, because they have so much talent, so much beauty and all that other stuff, as they mature, they can revisit it, either go solo or just, it's not like over for them, right? Unless they decide to. Unless they
decide, but are they really working for it? That's the question. Or are they wilding out on social media and hiding behind the walls of things, doing things that might not necessarily make their folks proud or something like that. It's a weird situation. It's a very weird situation, but it sucks because, here you have this talented group, extremely talented, and Laura, you know how hard they work.
I do. I saw it.
You can't stop when you leave the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
If you're a true artist, You
Right.
can't. That mentality has to stay with you at all times. You
See
have
that,
to.
people? He's telling some important stuff. So
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When you do your social media, it has to fall over to your social media. You can't just promote yourself when you feel like it. There's an art to it. There's an art to being an artist, and today's generation, they don't understand that. They don't get it. They look for that instant gratification.
Instant. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like they're very low on patience.
exactly.
We have to help them develop patience, though,
Mhm.
you know.
You could try, but when you don't have family members that will stand behind you and see that it's moving, now you're fighting not just the artist but the family. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Or the family could be saying, "Oh, the grass is greener over here." You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, yeah.
it's a weird thing, you know. So
Mm.
I have set my sights to not working with anyone who doesn't want to achieve the highest of goals. If your goal is just to be a background dancer, then we
This,
should have left you at that point. We wanted more for you than you wanted for yourself.
like
Exactly.
that saying, you can lead a horse to water
But you can't make them
and
drink.
present
Absolutely.
all of these
Mm-hmm.
wonderful things, but if they're not ready, they're just not ready.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Another question I wanted to ask you, Ian, is what was the moment behind the scenes for you that you realized that the Atlanta music was going to change the industry? So we had all these things developing, but it's probably was at a certain time when it's like, okay, it's we're there now.
Oh, that's easy. 1992. In
Okay.
Mm.
1992, you had Arrested Development drop, you had TLC drop, and you had Crisscross drop. They
Mm.
didn't drop all from the same label. Arrested Development was EMI Chrysalis,
Mm-hmm.
Crisscross was Rough House Columbia, and TLC was LaFace Arista. And all of a
Mm.
sudden, all eyes were on Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? They were all over the place. They were at the awards. All three of the acts performed on the Arsenio Hall show, which was hot at the time.
Oh yeah.
So that's when I knew it's like, oh, we're on to something here. Something is bubbling here. That's when I knew
So
that
that's when even more people start moving to Atlanta.
everybody
Like
started looking
Big
and trying
Sweat,
to develop roots
Faith,
here in Atlanta.
Evans.
Yes.
Everybody had places here.
Hmm.
Like there's
Mm.
another residence here, and then just people in general. More people start moving to Atlanta.
So and L.A. Reid opened the doors or helped open it. Now Dallas Austin and Jermaine Dupri were doing things outside of LaFace before LaFace really took off here. Dallas was producing Boys to Men and Another Bad Creation and Troop. Jermaine Dupri had produced the
Shout
whole
out Pasadena,
album.
California.
Huh?
Troop is from my hometown, Pasadena, California.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I
Troop.
say
He
that.
worked on the Troop album.
Mhm.
And Jermaine Dupri had produced the whole album on these young ladies, Silk Times Leather, on Geffen Records when he was only 15 years old.
I
Mm.
remember that.
So they were already doing things, but with the advent of LaFace opening up to Atlanta, it just gave them more things to do. The next thing you know, Jermaine, who was working with me on Second Nature, which became TLC,
Oh,
was able to get in and do some work with them, and then Dallas Austin produced the whole album. And then later would come Organized Noise. Rico Wade, rest in peace, was one of the main people who helped me put TLC together.
that's some history right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Dallas Austin, his company was or his studio was DARP Studios. Was that it?
Yes, Dark
Mm.
Studios. Yep.
Yeah,
Over
over
there off
there.
of Northside
Yeah,
Drive. Yeah.
yeah. Is it still there?
It's owned by someone else now.
I
Oh,
love this picture. So, and when you think of TLC, because they were so young too, the difference is even though they were really young, they were focused. Also, when you think about technology, there wasn't instant gratification like that. We didn't have Instagram, we didn't have
Right.
Facebook, we only had AOL. Or what was the other one? What was that other one before Facebook?
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace, right? So they weren't getting all involved with all of that. So they didn't
No.
have that outside temptation to just, go wild, right?
Right.
And was the other difference too? Did they have more of a family unit behind them to
No,
keep
not
them on point?
necessarily. Not
Okay.
necessarily. Like they were hungrier. There
Mhm.
was no other situations going on. There was no competition. You know what I'm saying? If you remember, like the only girl groups that were out, TLC came out, was In
In
Vogue.
Vogue.
You had the Good Girls. You had Expose. TLC opened up the door for a whole new trend
Hmm.
of girl group to come out, whether it was SWV, Xscape, Brownstone, Jade, a whole
I love
level of female independence where they didn't have to always wear dresses and look cute. They could still wear oversized t-shirts and things of that nature and still be on point. I'd like to say that TLC helped usher that in.
Yeah, this is a different style, you know, like,
right.
I mean, I was going to say you can dance better, but In Vogue still dance in heels and dresses, but
they didn't dance like TLC.
No, but still, I mean, you can't say they didn't dance. They had
but they didn't dance like TLC, though. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
They did what they could do, you know, in heels and dresses. They, you know, they weren't like that. I'm sorry. There was a whole new thing when these three girls dropped, and that's what I wanted. I patterned TLC after Belle Biv DeVoe and the LL Cool J song "Round the Way Girls." You know what I'm saying? It was those two things that helped me mold what you see in TLC today.
And that style is so cute. Look at the style right there on that picture. Yes. where girls could actually wear that and not feel, because I was a tomboy, even though I'm really girly and happy and all that, I actually was a tomboy. So I loved those kind of clothes. I didn't wear dresses as a kid. I wore those like ditto jeans, ditto painter pants. Remember those?
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
So they opened up the doors for young women, and I believe that's why they became so popular, to be themselves, and people gravitated towards that.
Oh, so that reminds me of their video, Baby, Baby, Baby. And that one was directed by
Keith Ward.
Keith Ward. I guess it was on campus over at AUC in the dorms or something.
No, that was at, where was that? That wasn't on AUC. It was another school.
Oh, okay.
Or something where we were, I might have been an apartment building where we shot that, but it wasn't on the AUC campus.
Yeah, but it looked like it. I guess.
They made it seem like it was an AUC campus. Absolutely.
Now, before we talk about what inspired you to start Launchpad Records, I want to, and focus on developing new talent. We have to show the Xscape. Tell us about Xscape and Candy and Tiny really quickly.
Well, how
did you get? Yeah.
I was working with Keith Ward on another music video. For another Jermaine Dupri artist while I was working at this company called Itchapon Records. Candy's brother came to me, rest in peace, and was like, hey, I heard what you did with TLC. I want you to come and meet my sister's group. And that's what I did. That evening I went by. I had already met the Scott sisters. I had worked with Tasha Scott previous when she was in another group. Tiny wasn't in the group at this time. It was another young lady named Tamara. So it was Tamara, Candy, Latasha, and Tamika Scott. And they sang for me, and it just totally blew me away. I was just like, wow, y'all can do it. It wasn't like a TLC thing where it was more fun. They were really serious vocalists. Tamika later wanted to bring Tiny into the group. So Tiny auditioned, and at one time, and you could actually see the five of them perform on the BET show. But there were five girls in Xscape. They were doing an In Vogue song, Don't Let Go. Not Don't Let Go.
I love Don't Let Go, though.
No. That was all the last one. It was the first song.
Hold On to Your Love.
Hold on.
Oh, yes. I love that one, too.
So they did an a cappella version of that record. And then Tan, at one point, they had switched managers. I had stopped managing them, and they had gone to another manager. By this time, I had already taken them to Jermaine Dupri, but Jermaine wasn't ready. He didn't have a record company to sign him to. So they went with another manager. The manager and Tamara got into some things, and she left the group, and, he wanted her gone. So that's what happened there. So it went back down to 4 members. And he ended up, just letting the group go after Tan had left the group. So I went and picked him back up. And when I picked him back up, Jermaine gave me a call and said, hey, I'm ready to sign the group. Ready to
go.
Yeah, and that's the story behind it. So,
yay. So glad you picked them back up, Ian.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Me too.
Okay. So now, what inspired you to start Launchpad Records and focus on developing new talent? So what inspired you?
Well, I was wondering, this was after my stint at ASCAP, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, and I was wondering what I was going to do next. I was working with the McLean sisters, China, Lauren, and I can't think of the oldest one's name. The McLean sisters were the 3 girls who were in Daddy's Little Girls, Tyler Perry's Daddy's Little Girls.
With Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Well,
So I
that's
was
cool.
working alongside them, and the family decided that they wanted to move to California to be closer to the action for film and television. So I was like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. And there was a young lady that I knew. Her name was Christine Sanon, a young Filipino lady, and she was looking to forward her career. And I was like, if we can change things up a bit, with you and your style of music, I think we may be able to make some things happen. And she was a pianist. And then I said, well, why don't you learn how to play guitar? And she went and learned how to play guitar. And 6 months later, she was showing me how to play. And I was like, okay, let's create
Oh my gosh.
a rock band, a pop rock band. And that's what we did. And, we added 3 more gentlemen, Brian, 2 Brians, and Justin. And we created this band. And with that, I created the label Launchpad Records.
Oh, I love that.
And that's how it got started. So it was developing that pop rock band that got me involved with this situation. Yeah.
Love that.
Well, these these memories and going down memory lane is exactly why we started this podcast. When to look back and then look at the present and the future, all the things and the trajectory of things. So we just want to mention real quick, our sponsor is Music Memory Lane, a nonprofit that the mission is to restore joy with seniors who may have dementia or Alzheimer's. And we've seen firsthand how music really brightens their day, and they may not remember their name, but they can remember the lyrics to those songs. So I just want to shout out Music Memory Lane. And now we're going to move
Looking for therapeutic programs
wait,
your residents will love? Music Memory
We're going to
Lane
move to
blends
our ad,
nostalgia,
actually.
movement, and joy. Perfect for senior living and memory care. Book your free demo today. Music Memory Lane, where memories dance.
Yay!
Yeah. You got to show the one. Can you show the one?
I can. That's your favorite one. One of your favorite ones.
I know. One of my favorite ones. Shotgun. Oh, no, not that one. That's okay.
Oh, I love this one. Okay, which one? Because you're singing in this one. That's why I love this one. And he's so happy.
Here is mine. And it's just so heartwarming, playing their jams. Like this song is probably, you can remember stuff from the 40s and 50s.
Yes.
Where's that walker?
He's coming down the Soul Train line with his walker.
I'm trying to, hold on, remove it all together.
Okay, you're getting low.
Okay.
So,
then are you able to take it off on your end? Sorry, it says I can't remove. Hold on. Not letting me allow.
The video?
Thank you. He was 94. Was he 94, Sabrina?
Yeah, he's still living. 94, going to be 95.
Wow. See, that's what I want to be. I know.
When we're at that age, we're going to be jamming to our, our songs from right now and stuff, in vogue.
Exactly.
So, but now, Ian, we want to bring you into one of our favorite parts of the show. Our podcast is our rapid fire session.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is Laura and I will both ask you a series of questions, and it's sort of like this or that. So we'll name 2 things, and you pick your favorite choice of the 2.
Okay. Sounds simple enough.
Yeah. Okay. So now the key is don't think too hard. But here we go.
Okay.
All right. Studio session or live concert?
Live concert.
90s hip hop or 90s R&B?
90s R&B.
That's hard, huh, Ian? Because you love them both.
Yeah. And I've been involved in so much of the 90s hip hop scene, especially coming out of Atlanta. So that definitely was hard.
Okay.
Atlanta in the 90s or Atlanta today?
Atlanta in the 90s, easy.
All the way.
Easy.
Producer beat first or artist lyrics first?
Beat.
Beat
Okay,
first.
wait. What is that? Tell me, what is that? Can you clarify?
Well, quick? I'm thinking from my perspective, it's like what pulls you into a song. You know what I'm saying? So first thing you hear is the artist's beat, and then the lyric comes in.
I agree.
So that's what would pull me in, is listening to something because music has a way. We talk about memory, and the reason why so many people sample, is because those samples trigger something, a memory within your mind.
That makes so much sense.
Of the song that you loved back in the day. Like, I'll give
I
you an
never thought of
example.
it like
I
that.
can give you a bunch of examples too, but you go first.
I was going to say Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise.
Oh,
Stevie
yes.
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder's Pastime Paradise. That was one of my favorite. It still is one of my favorite records.
Me too. Me too.
So that brings me into that song.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Coolio.
To
Yes.
Coolio. I love Coolio. Love.
There's a bunch of people that sampled the Sting guitar riff. That still, like, there's a whole bunch of the same guitar riff and put it into different songs. But because I, love that particular guitar riff, I will listen to those songs. Because
Diana Ross too. Diana Ross has a few songs that have been sampled.
There's, I mean, damn near everybody that came up back then has been sampled, and I feel like that's the reason, because that'll pull in a newer audience. Well, you get your new audience come in that may like the artist, but the older audience comes in because they love the music.
Yeah, that's so true. And then the king of the artists being sampled is James Brown, I feel. And then the one I was going to say is Kendrick Lamar again, sampling Luther and Cheryl Lynn.
And Luther. The song's called Luther. They sampled it and called it Luther.
Oh, I love that.
That's so nice. That's such a nice tribute.
And and it worked. It worked. It won the Grammy. So.
Whoop to Kendrick.
Okay, I have one last question for mine, and then it's Laura's turn. And my last question is: vinyl records or digital streaming?
I'm streaming. I have, and I say that because, first of all, I can take my music everywhere, and I was against streaming until I realized that I could have all of my music on, whether it's Apple or Amazon Music or YouTube Music. I can have all of my music in one spot, and I could just jump around to Elton John, to OutKast, to Bruno Mars, to Pink. I could just jump around and just create my own playlist, of my favorite records. So yeah, I am a fan of streaming, even though the payment structure sucks for artists, and it's unfair, but it's you're only paying $10 a month. But when you think about it, with as many people that are streaming, $10 sounds like a little bit of money for me, but when you calculate the millions of people who stream music every month, it's an entirely different thing.
Exactly. Because I would have normally picked vinyl because I love the way it sounds on a vinyl record, the sound of it. But for the convenience of streaming, I would probably now, because you convinced me. Now I'm going with that.
If I wanted to go out for a walk today, right after this thing, I can put on my headphones and listen to whatever I want, without putting a tape in there and switching out tapes, or CD and switching out CDs. I have my own playlist. I can just line it up. This is my walking playlist. These are the songs that I want to hear, and move from there. So, yeah.
Okay, so now, that's okay. Okay, so there's just 5 more questions, and we'll go quickly. Is artist development or hit record moment?
Artist development.
Late night studio grind or early morning creativity?
Early morning creativity.
Okay. Classic Southern hip hop or soulful R&B? That's hard, huh?
Again, it's the same as the
other one.
R&B, yes. So, but I'm gonna have to go. Listen. I worked with a lot of hip hop artists. I did, and I appreciate their music. I do, but I'm a classic R&B guy. I love Roberta Flack. I love Stevie Wonder. I love Michael Jackson. I love Prince, even though he teeter-tottered, with the different genres. Al Green.
Teddy Pendergrass. All of them.
That's the music. I have to be in the mood to listen to hip hop.
Yeah. So what about backstage at a concert? So backstage at a concert or front row in the crowd?
I want to see the show. Front row in the crowd.
Yeah.
I want to see the show. I don't want to mingle with these people backstage.
I know. I've had enough of that. I want to be a guest. I want to sit down
and see what's happening. So what is your favorite part, Ian? Okay, this is kind of tricky. So discovering a talent or building a star? Wait. What's the favorite part? What's the favorite part of that journey? The first part or the second part?
Wow.
Exciting.
Mhm.
I have to say building, because you can always discover talent. You don't know where that's going to lead, but when you're that focused and that in tune with the artist that you want to develop it into that future star, that has always been more important to me. Like, the TLC will always have a stronghold in my life as it relates to that, because that's something that I built from the ground up.
Mhm.
I didn't expect them to do the things that they've done. Nobody expects to have been the architect of the world's best-selling group, but being that that's what they are, I'm super proud about that whole situation. And
As you should be.
building that and coming up with the concept and things like that, it's and then second, believe it or not, is Peachtree. Working when we first got with Peachtree, one of the young ladies couldn't even face us to sing. She had to turn her back in order to sing for us. And, instilling that confidence, even though the situation didn't work out, instilling that confidence within her to get her to see what she was capable of, that means the world to me. Yeah, the potential that they have. That type of thing means more to me than anything.
Oh, I love that.
That's so
Ian.
heartwarming. That really is.
So
we're
Ian,
going to wrap up.
Oh, go ahead.
We're going to wrap it up now, and we want to ask you one last question here to give everybody something to really ponder on. As you continue building and pouring into the next generation, which we all are here in this, where we are in our stage of our lives, what do you want to be known for? And so this is a two-parter. What do you want to be known for? And what is one piece of advice that you want every young artist to carry with them?
Oh, those are good questions,
I'm
Sabrina.
gonna get it right here on the Flashback Squad.
I want to be known as the Dreamweaver.
The Dreamweaver.
I love that.
The person who came and helped build out dreams for these young artists, whether it's Mr. TLC or anyone that I've worked with in the past. I want to be known as that guy that was willing to go to war, and even some of the artists that haven't been successful. You know what I'm saying? That I may have worked with. I want to be known as that guy that would give his all to make sure that at least people knew about you, or you were on the minds of other people. And the second part of that question is, all artists for me, they just need to educate themselves about the business and that they're in. If you're going to be a doctor, you're going to go to med school. If you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to go to a law school. If you're taking your craft seriously, then you have to study your craft, and then study ways in which to advance your craft that maybe nobody else knows about. So just learn and know the history as well. A lot of these people just get in it just to get in it and don't know anything about their history. Know your history about it. Be an educated artist. There are books out there that you could get. There are documentaries that you can watch. There's all kinds of information on YouTube. The people who really want to get involved in this thing and that become stars, even though Michael B isn't into music, that's how he attacked his craft. And the end result, he got an Oscar. Look at how he attacked his craft.
Yeah, and he's the youngest one, right? He's the youngest.
Yes, is he the youngest?
Kudos to
Michael.
So.
He's younger than all of the others.
It's either him, between him and Jamie. I don't know how old Jamie was when he got his Oscar.
Well, maybe it's just his baby face. He looks like
he's 39 right now.
Oh, really? See, he looks.
So, and I think I think Jamie
might be
real close.
Real close. Time when he won for Ray.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's just how he approached his craft, and from a young boy to a grown man. If artists looked at that and used that as a barometer on how they should attack, to be long lasting, all these popcorn microwave artists, that's what they're going to be. But if you want longevity, like a Stevie Wonder, like a Michael Jackson, like a Prince,
Whitney Houston, like a Whitney Houston.
Or Whitney Houston. You have to engage in that craft.
That's I want to quote one of my favorites, Raphael Sadiq. He said he wants to be a slow burn rather than a, like you said, microwave.
And if
Flash
you look
in the
at
pan.
it, that's what OutKast was. If you really look at it, they grew with each album. Their audience grew. You understand what I'm saying? From Southern Playalistic all the way down to the Speaker Box, The Love Below, which ended up selling like 11, 12 million copies.
Hey now.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the paths that you want to follow. You know what I'm saying?
And I hate how I forgot. I should have said Patti LaBelle, and there's so many others. Shaka Khan. All
those
that
Lifetime Achievement Award winners that have been in the game for decades, not just a couple years.
Exactly. And then Ian, we can talk to you for hours and days and still not unravel everything that came into your journey. So as I mentioned to you yesterday, how you said, yes, you'll be happy to come on again. Now, after this experience, do you still feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love talking about the experiences. I love going back. It just reinvigorates me for what I got planned for the
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing more big things.
Yes. So, Ian, this was so incredible. And thank you for taking us back and giving us a real look at what it took to build something that's now part of music history.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is going to be one of those episodes that I think people will be rewinding and like, oh, let me listen to that again, what he said.
Exactly. So everybody make sure you like, subscribe, and share.
Because if you love music, culture, and these real stories, not made up, oh yeah, I thought that's how this is the real deal. You're in the right place.
From people that were there when it happened, not hearsay like Sabrina just said, not a third party story. It's actually coming from who was actually there.
I was there.
Yes, you were.
It's a flashback, right?
You had to think about it.
Exactly. A flashback.
So it's not hearsay, not a tell-all, like gossip and scandal and all that. We got the real receipts.
Exactly.
Look at all those awards on your wall. Those are some major receipts.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Yes. Look at all those. Yes. Congratulations. Okay, Ian. So now we got to close out. And so we will see, right, Sabrina, everybody on
the Rewind.
On the Rewind.